Hello, my name is Edward Brown of the Core Edge Image and Charisma Institute. And today I want to talk about how women can use charisma to speak more assertively. Much like any communication, we can learn from each other. Men speak a certain way, women speak a certain way. Men seem to be more oriented towards power and the acquisition and maintenance of power. Women are more collaborative and looking for opportunities to support and look for support in many instances. So it's just different variables, not one better than the other, just different variables. So I want to talk about for women who I've heard tell me, and how does charisma help me be more assertive? So I want to talk about that for a minute. First of all, realize that like anybody who speaks more effectively using charisma, you have to ask yourself one question and one question alone going into it. Do you want to be popular or do you want to be effective? When I asked myself that question some years ago, do I want to be popular or effective, I determined I want to be effective. Because popularity, even though it's admirable and it has advantages, effectiveness to me is more long-standing and it's more authentic to me. And so people who go into rooms and speak and connect from a kibitzing perspective, they get what they want, and some charismatic leaders actually do it effectively. But I want to be effective in using charisma to say, this is how I feel, this is what I want, and this is what I desire. And yes, I'm aware of the person's emotions and not trying to hurt the person's emotions, but more importantly, I want to be effective. So first and foremost, ask yourself, do you want to be effective or popular? And whatever you determine from that vantage point, move from that vantage point. Secondly, when you speak, are you speaking from a power perspective or a collaborative perspective? As I said earlier, men often are interested in the acquisition and the maintenance of power. Women are more collaborative oftentimes. You can't afford to vacillate in terms of your intentions. Sometimes you have to be collaborative and sometimes you have to be power struck and power driven. And so understand when you're communicating, communication of, well, I'm just thinking, or I could be wrong, or I've heard Joe talk, but I'm just perhaps want to consider another thing. I could be wrong. All that vacillating to assuage the people in the audience takes away from your power. And so talk with power, talk with a sense of, this is how I feel. I'm not sure if, in fact, we have looked at all the variables possible in this room today. Because from my vantage point, this is how I see it. By talking from a power perspective to be effective, I think that lends itself to more credibility and engaging people, and people respect you more. Thirdly, when women speak, it's okay to speak from your human experiences. Whether you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, everyone has their own perspective as well as gender perspectives across the ethnic globe. And so if you're talking to a group of men and you're a woman, to talk about your human experiences, we all can relate to that. Now, you talk about something that's germane just to women. Obviously, men can hear it, may have understood it, whether their girlfriend or wives went through it, but obviously it's not visceral for us. So, speak in human experiences form, and people will get it, no matter who you're speaking to, male, female, and or cross ethnicities. I believe that when you start thinking about the power base of success and collaborations and how you assuage and move in those regards, you start speaking according to what's viable and effective and not necessarily what's always popular. Again, you have to make a determination for yourself. I believe if you want more information on how to be more charismatic, persuasive, and influential, there's a link below to a website. You can tap in, get free information, and start receiving information to evolve and to continue to grow in this regard. Ed Brown, the Core Edge Image and Charisma Institute.